So the problem with reparations is what percentage of white people do you think actually owned slaves in the US?
She does not want to have this mother conversation with the likes of me. Because as soon as this pasty little try to pull the wool over my eyes with the, well, what percentage of the white population do you think had slaves? I would have retorted, well, what percentage of the white population do you think benefited from slavery in America? Yeah, she don't want to have this conversation with me.
Mike, I see that you're a young brother with a lot of zeal and boldness in your approach. But let me share something with you, if I may. Now, as far as this specific issue goes, this is how you would address this while taking into account the historical narrative. See, what you have to realize is when you place the argument around who benefited, there are all manners of segues and caveats and whatabouts that you'll have to chase your tail just to address. So the best thing to do is refrain from the philosophical and focus in on the historical precedent already set in stone. So for this, we'll begin our argument by taking a trip to Haiti. Now in 1804, Haiti won their independence from France, but France was upset that they lost not only the war, but also their slave colony, not to an outsider, but to the slave colony itself. They underestimated the resolve of these people that they believed were inferior. So if they were inferior and you lost to them, then you could imagine the embarrassment of retreating to your homeland with egg on your face. So after the war, they enforced conditions that Haiti had to meet if they wanted to enjoy their newfound liberation without having to sleep with one eye open in fear of France regrouping and coming back for round two. If these black people wanted to keep their independence, they had to pay reparations to France, even though France lost the war. So although they were so-called free, France still found a way to bind them to a debt for ruining their bag. So consequently, enslaving them to a debt not enforced by the whip this time, but by the concept of a threat. Now, Haiti eventually paid it, but how long do you think it took Haiti to pay the debt in full? I'll tell you, over 120 years. So before America abolished slavery, the war was already over. Before English abolished slavery, the war was already over. Now, do you think that anyone that was alive during the war in 1804 was still alive when Haiti made their last payment in the 1940s? I think not. But what does the reparations payment of Haiti have to do with America? I'll tell you. In 1922, France relinquished the title of the remainder of these reparations over to the interest of American investors. So now Haiti was no longer paying France these reparations, but instead they were paying reparations to a bank in New York, a bank that is now known as Citibank. So essentially, the descendants of the descendants of the descendants of those who fought the strong arm of oppression and won ultimately found themselves paying reparations to America. So when people formulate arguments in favor of neglecting the justice that our predecessors charged us with going after, when the government turned a blind eye to the justice and reparations owed to our families generation after generation after generation, and now new people immigrate to this country and have the unmitigated gall to tell us to forget about it because they think that justice expires due to their ability to add. And in their adding, they were able to calculate the sum of how many years reparations has been ignored, and then use that as their argument to say that we've waited too long. Oh, the date on your claim for reparations was just so long ago. But see, for them, it's a long time ago. But for us, it's yesterday and right now. See, it took 5 or so generations of Haitians to pay the bill for the bravery of their ancestors defeating the slave-driving colonial powers of France, just to ultimately wind up paying the bill to America, essentially. And no one thought in the slightest that because the war was so long ago that the debt should be forgiven. Not when it came to filling their pockets with the reparations paid from an already poor country. And I don't see any of the American benefactors of the remainder of the reparations paid by Haiti clamoring to give it back. Yet when it comes to the richest nation on earth, people that already admit to not having any roots in this country prior to 1865 suddenly insert themselves into the conversation as if suddenly the song is all about them, or as if it's about black and white. But it's not. This is about we who have been here longer than most of the opinionated Johnny-come-latelys that don't know history or are willfully ignorant of it. So whether they benefited or bent over is not my concern. Although we know that there would be no incentive to come to these lands to build or dream had not the land been cleared of the foundation laid by our ancestors, and their blood and bones used to replace the foundation. So our claim is older than their complaints. And many of these opponents are under the impression that our reparations comes directly from their pockets, which is part of the lie being sold. The truth of the matter is, they don't owe us anything. They owe Uncle Sam, but Uncle Sam owes us. So tell them to file their grievances at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Other than that, our ancestors left wise words that still ring true to this day. A message that has been inscribed on your heart since before you were born. A message that when anyone steps forward to deny you of the fiduciary gesture that symbolizes a modicum of the justice that in reality can never truly be paid back even with all of the diamonds and gold. The message you tell them is,
shut up, bitch!